Hello and welcome to the next update of my Mets Realm theme team, perfect team, in Out of the Park Baseball 25. This is the second update of the 2026 season. And the last time we did an update, it was the end of July, and we were doing pretty good, and we were leading in our division. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 games, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But in any case, we're now at the end of the season, and you're going to get the end of the season update of where we are. But before we do that, what I usually do is go through the stats of my players, and we're going to do that first. And then at the end, you can guess where we finished. So this is an interesting end to the season. I'll just say that as a little teaser. So I don't forget, you see I have 130 packs, but I'm not going to be opening them because there's nothing of like huge value that I'm trying to pull, because I have pretty much most of the cards that I want and I can just buy them. I've got 45,000 in the bank, and so yeah, that's not going to be an issue for now. But when a card that I want comes around, that's like a diamond or a perfect, then I'll pull all those packs. But for now, I'm just going to be stockpiling. So yeah, let's get right to my pitching staff. So So yeah, you see I have 4 starters listed. That's because I have already prepared my postseason pitching staff, because we were already in, just a little teaser, I made the playoffs, and so we'll get to that at the end. But it was pretty clear that I was going to likely make it anyway, unless I had a total collapse. So let's continue. Let's go to our rotation, and we'll go right here. So Bobby Ojeda, he had 12 wins and 9 losses and a 3.16 ERA. And let's go see what he did at the end of the year. And so let's see. So we kind of finished at the end of July when he gave up 3 earned runs, July 22nd. And then he had like about a 2.83 ERA, or I think it was either that or a 3.10, whichever one. And so he gave up 5 earned runs his next start, and that put him at a 3.10 ERA. And then he gave up 3 earned runs, 1 earned run, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. And that was the end of the season. So he ended up with a 3.16 ERA. 3 runs max. Probably prefer if he had some less 3s in there, but other than that, 5 earned runs on July 27th. I would say this is a pretty decent ending to the season for him at 3.16. So now Bobby Ojeda finished okay. He finished with 12 wins. He did have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight losses in that stretch. So the 5 earned runs, and then 3, 3, 3. So yeah, he did have he rack up a bunch of losses in that stretch. But all right, let's go back to the pitching screen. And then we go to Frank Viola, who pitched 235 innings, 17 wins, and 3.29 ERA. And so let's check his line. So at the end of July, he had a 3.42 ERA, and then he gave up 5 earned runs July 28th. Pretty strange how Ojeda and Viola gave up 5 right around the same time, but whatever. So 3.64 ERA after the 5 earned runs. Then he gave up 1, 3, 0, 3, 0, 2, 1. Then he gave up 4 earned runs on September 10th, and that made his ERA 3.25. And then he gave up 2 earned runs, then 2 more, and then he ended the season with back-to-back 4 earned run performances and 2 losses. So he ended the season 17-8. Would have loved for him to get that 20 game to win 20 games, but fortunately fell up short. And there's a sort of another reason for that. So let's go back to pitching. Next, we got Jose Quintana with 16 wins and 11 losses and a 3.40 ERA. Again, not terrible. So let's go and see his line. So at the end of July, so he was on July 24th, he had 7 run. He gave up 0. He had a 0 earned run performance that had his ERA at a 2.64. And then July 29th, he gave up 7 earned runs, 2.99 ERA because of that. Then he followed that up with 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 1 earned run, 4 earned runs, 1, then 0, and then after that 0, he had a 2.86 ERA on August 31st. And then his next 3 performances, I would say maybe 4, he gave up 5 earned runs, then 7 earned runs, then 5 earned runs, then 4 earned runs and that stretch ended September 23rd, which put him at a 3.57 ERA. So his ERA really ballooned in September and wasn't great. Those were 3 straight losses in September. So if you're following along, you can probably figure out how my season's been going in September. And so the season ended with a 0 and a 2, making him finish with a 3.40 ERA. And so we go back to the pitching. And let's take a look at Ron Darling. Finished the season with 11 wins, a 3.27 ERA, and 206 innings. Yeah. So let's go to his line. And at the end of July, he was pitching great. July 25th, 1 earned run. July 31st, 1 earned run. That put him at 2.72. Then he followed that up with 3, 1, 1, 3, 4 earned runs on August 27th. And that put him at a 2.92 ERA, which is pretty decent, I would say. And then he followed that up with a 0, a 2, a 3. And then he finished the season with 4 earned runs. So after the 3 earned runs on September 12th, he had 2.87 ERA. And then his next 3 starts, it was 4 earned runs, then 5 earned runs, and then 8 earned runs. And so his ERA ballooned up to 3.41. And then he closed out the season with 8 innings and 0 earned runs. So that put him at 3.27. I would say he generally had a pretty decent year, aside from that stretch of 3 games. So yeah, not terrible. And I got a lot more out of him than I thought I would for what his card is. So not that disappointed. All right, let's go back to starters. Let's go to Mania, who is in the bullpen right now because I had moved him to the pen. He had 170 innings with a 4.70 ERA. And let's go take a look at his line. So at the end of August, on July 26th, he gave up 1 earned run with a 2.99 ERA. So he was actually pitching pretty good. Seemed to have a pretty good first half of the season. And then in August, he gave up 2, then 4. Then he had this really bad stretch starting August 7th when it was 4 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 7 earned runs, 5 earned runs, 7 earned runs, and then 4 earned runs. And after that, that was September 8th, and his ERA ballooned to 4.51. And then he gave up 3, then 2, then 3, and then he closed the season out giving up 5 and then 4 earned runs, putting him at a 4.7 ERA. And he, as you can see, the red here on the right side, those are all losses. So, like, he really had racked up a whole lot of losses in the end of August and September. So he's probably on the hot seat for next season, if I'm being completely honest. So very, very disappointing end for Mania. All right, let's go back to the bullpen. Those are all my starters. So let's go to Brooks Raley. So how did he do? He finished the season with a 2.67 ERA and 26 saves. Not bad. So then let's see, at the end of July, he had a 3.06 ERA. And so stretching back to July 23rd, he had 1 0, 2 zeros, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 zeros up until August 20th. And then on August 21st, he gave up 1 earned run. So his ERA was 2.49. And so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good stretch. And then he put up 3 more zeros, and then another earned run on September 3rd, and then 3 more zeros, and then another earned run on September 10th, and then 2 zeros, and then another earned run September 19th, and then 1 earned zero, and then another earned run on September 25th, and then 1 0, and then another earned run on October 1st. So he racked up a lot of saves, but the earned runs were getting added on a little more frequently towards the end, so I'm a little bit nervous. But he did end the season with a 2.67 ERA, so not that disappointed with Raley. All right, let's go back to the pen. Now we got Adam Ottavino with a 2.30 ERA over 54 innings. So let's go to Mr. Ottavino, who was an all-star. And at the end of July, he had a 2.14 ERA, giving up an earned run on July 29th. And then he followed that up with 4 zeros until he gave up an earned run on August 11th. That made his ERA 2.08. Then he followed that up with 5 zeros, and then he gave up 2 earned runs on August 27th, making his ERA 2.28. And then he followed that up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros in a row. making his ERA 2.06, followed by an earned run in 2 straight appearances, which made his ERA 2.37, and then he gave up he put up 3 zeros, then another earned run, and then he finished with 2 zeros. So ending the season with a 2.30 ERA, not terrible. Not terrible. He did have a loss in there and a blown save, so generally pretty good. A lot better than I would have expected him to be. So let's go back. And we go to Mr. Orozco, who's in the setup role now. He wasn't in the setup role in the last time we did the update. I moved Roger McDowell into the middle relief role, but let's look at Orozco and see what he's been doing. So I don't remember exactly when I moved him into the setup role, but I will go count his stats from July. So he was having a great season. On July 27th, he put up a 0 after giving up 2 earned runs on July 23rd, and his ERA on the 27th was 2.67 after that first 0. And then he put on a streak of zeros with that one. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 straight zeros in appearances through August 20th. And that put his ERA at 2.04 until he gave up 2 earned runs on August 21st, making his ERA 2.43. And then from August 21st, he put up straight zeros to the end of the season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 straight zeros. And so he finished the season with a 1.94 ERA. So pretty good stuff from Mr. Orozco. Can't complain. And I'll probably keep him as a setup starting next season as well. So let's go back to our pen. And then let's go to Roger McDowell, who lost his closer's job with a 4.7 ERA in 61 innings. So he lost the closer's job to setup, and then he lost the setup role to middle relief. And so let's go to end of July 29th. He gave up 3 earned runs, and he had a stretch of 5 earned runs in 3 appearances, ending on August 4th with a 6 ERA. Then he put up a 0, and then 2 earned runs, and then a 0, then 1 earned run, then a 0, then 2 earned runs, then a 0, and 1 earned run on August 19th. That made his ERA 6.04, and then he had a stretch of zeros of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 straight zeros, making his ERA 4.45, and then he gave up 2 earned runs on October 5th, making his ERA 4.70. So he had that really bad stretch in July and August, and then he kind of figured it out at the end of second half of August through September. So in actuality, he probably had one of the better Septembers of some of my pitchers. So besides Orozco, so impressive. Don't like that he gave up those 2 earned runs at the end, though. That's not good. So we'll see what he does next season. What role I put him in. All right, so now we go to Danny Frisella, who has 63 innings pitched and a 3.71 ERA. And let's open his stat sheet. He had quite a ride. So the end of August, the end of July, on July 31st, he had a 2.41 ERA, but he had a huge zero streak, going from July 6th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 straight zeros from July 6th through August 9th. That made his ERA 2.38. So I thought he was going to be one of my most reliable relievers down the stretch, but then he gave up 4 earned runs on August 10th, making his ERA 3.21, and then he put up a 0. And then he gave up 4 earned runs on August 14th, making his ERA 3.89, and then 4 straight zeros, then an earned run. And then, he gave up an earned run on August 24th, making his ERA 3.67. And he followed that up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight zeros, making his ERA 3.38, followed by 1 earned run, and then zeros, and then another earned run, and then a 0, then 2 earned runs, then 1 earned run on September 29th. That made his ERA 3.71. Then he put up 2 zeros, and then another earned run, making his ERA finish at 3.71. So he was very shaky in September. Not the solid performances you want. And most of his performances were in losses, even though he didn't get charged with a lot of the losses. So, yeah. That was kind of his story. And now we go to... Who do we go to? Let's go to Pulsifer. 5.62 ERA. And July 27th, he had a 5.05 ERA, where he gave up 2 earned runs, followed by 3, then 1, then 0, then 1, then 0, then 1, then 0. And that was through August 28th, where he had a 4.96 ERA, but then he followed that up with a 4 earned runs, 3 earned runs, 0, then 1, 2, 1, 0, then 1 earned run. And that finished the season with a 5.62 ERA. He's a long reliever, so I don't really expect a ton from him. I don't expect him to take losses either, but for whatever reason, he did. So that's not good. He did take some losses in August, so I'm not quite sure. Might have to tweak my settings on him to make sure he's not in those situations. I thought I had him as avoid high leverage, but we'll see. All right, so so let's all right, so we go back to the pen. Turk Wendell, 1.76 ERA, a specialist versus right-handed. And let's see what his line was. He at the end of July, he gave up 3 earned runs on July 31st, making his ERA 1.98. Followed that up with 3 zeros, then a 1 earned run. And then he followed that up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 straight zeros through September 23rd, making his ERA 1.60. Then he gave up an earned run, and then he ended the season putting up zeros. So 1.76 ERA to end the season. Can't say that I am disappointed. He did blow a save on September 26th, but generally he's been pretty good, and I'm pleasantly surprised with how well he's been. So good for him. All right, so let's go back and see Jake Diekman at the bottom. He's the left-handed specialist, and he's got a 3.13 ERA and through 37 innings. So let's go check him out. And okay, let's see his July stats. Ended July with a 3.33 ERA with 2 earned runs back to back, 1 each. All right, and then he followed July up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 straight zeros through September 12th. That gave him a 2.23 ERA. And then on September 20th, he put up 3 earned runs. And so that ballooned his ERA to 2.95. And then he put up a 0 and then another earned run to end the season to end his last appearance at the end of the season on October 1st, which was a blown save, which put him at a 3.13 ERA. So he's been okay. He's still holding his own, and I'm not too disappointed with Mr. Diekman. So this is my bullpen, and so this is now let's go to the lineups. So here are the lineups. So my right-handed versus DH lineup to end the season was Cedeno, McEwing, McNeil, Alonso, Kranepool, Alvarez, Harrison Bader, Howard Johnson, Jay Payton. And then my left-handed lineup was Cedeno, Bader, McNeil, Alvarez, Alonso, Marte, McEwing, Kranepool, and Mauricio, the newest addition. I actually took out Jose Reyes because he was batting a low 200s versus both lefties and righties, and so I wanted to try out someone new, and so that's why Ronnie Mauricio's there. I put him at the end of the season with like a week left. So let's go through our stat sheet now. Let's go through the stats. All right, so the season stats. We'll sort by average. So my highest average was McNeil with a 297 average and 5 homers, 62 RBIs, and 57 runs. Then it was McEwing with 280 average. Oh, I should say McNeil had 17 stolen bases, which is a lot more than I thought I would get from him. And then McEwing had a 280 average with 11 homers, 52 RBIs. And Cedeno had a 278 average with 5 homers and 36 RBIs and 37 stolen bases, which is amazing. So I'm happy about that. And then Dom Smith, I actually took out of the... Did I take him out of both lineups? I did take him out of the lineup versus right-handed hitting because Cranepool was hitting against right-handers, and so he was hitting for about a little bit better than Dom Smith, so that may have been a mistake for me, but yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit that decision moving into the next season when this one concludes altogether. But Dom Smith finished with 270 average, 8 homers, 39 RBIs, and no stolen bases. And then Cranepool finished with 269 average and 1 homer, 31 RBIs, and 1 stolen base, actually. Okay, now Harrison Bader finished the season with a 262 average and 8 homers, 40 RBIs, and 19 stolen bases, 15 caught stealing. I may have to tweak his stealing number, his settings for stealing, because he's getting caught very often. So, yeah, that's not good. And what else? 55 runs also for Bader. And Starling Marte, 240 average with a... let me just go to the screen. I think you can still read it. Yeah. Marte with 240 average, 6 homers, 35 RBIs, and 29 stolen bases, 12 caught stealing. So that's not too bad, but could be better. And then Francisco Alvarez finished the season with a 233 average and 17 homers and 63 RBIs with 54 runs. And so that's good. I mean, that's not as good as I would have preferred. But he did try to steal 3 times, which was stupid. And then Alonso had 39 homers and 104 RBIs and batting .232, very low average. But 39 homers was the league leader. So Alonso had the most homers, which is pretty amazing considering it's a live card and not a historical. So that was kind of crazy. And then Jay Payton finished the season with 230, and I should say Alonso also had 12 stolen bases. Jay Payton, 230 average with 9 homers and a 53 RBIs. And so I'm still on the fence about Jay Payton, what to do with him, because even though he's not hitting well, his defense is very good. So got to think about that. Howard Johnson, 223 average with 19 homers and 57 RBIs, 12 steals, 11 caught. Yeah, might have to tweak his settings too, because he's getting caught a little more than I would prefer. And then Ronnie Mauricio, who only played 8 games, is batting .208. And he has 2 RBIs and 0 homers. And then Duffy Dwyer, my defensive replacement backup catcher, has a 157 average and 2 homers and 11 RBIs. So, yeah, my hitting is not that good this year. And part of that is attributed to tougher competition, but also some of it is attributed to my stadium, which is more of a pitcher's park. So my Citi Field ballpark is very leaning in the pitcher's favor. So I'll have to make that decision about whether to change parks, maybe to Shea Stadium, or stick with this one. But it depends. I may just stick with it because my pitching really carried me through most of the season. So, and then maybe just gamble and hope for better hitting. So we'll see. So my lineups, I've been tweaking the lineups just to put my colder hitters down below, and Harrison Bader is probably on the hot seat because he's not batting very well against either side of the plate. And my first base situation needs to be straightened out. I don't know if I want to stick with Crane Pull moving forward. And I have to figure out whether I want to keep Dom Smith at first base as well. So maybe I will move Dom Smith back into the right-handed hitter spot for the playoffs. So let's see. He's actually batting .279 against lefties, and .269 against righties. So maybe we can go with Dom Smith for the playoffs. And let's see, Crane Pool is batting .290 against righties and .247 against lefties. So yeah, the first base situation is definitely one of the harder situations to plot out for the rest of the season, or the playoffs, I should say. And then my shortstop situation is Mauricio for now, but I could use Lindor if I wanted to. Next season, I'll probably put Lindor in for Mauricio and see how that goes. And so, yeah, I think Reyes may have worn out his effectiveness at this level. So we'll see about that. So now that you have heard all the stats and know that this is the end of the season, end of the regular season, I should say, how well do you think my team did? So I'm going to give you a chance to think about it, and then I will reveal it and talk about it. So I will reveal it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's go to our standings. And I finished the season with 89 wins, just below 90. And as you can see, I did not win the division. It was one game behind, and so let me show you just how crazy it was down the stretch. So here is what my September looked like. There's a lot of red on the screen. All those are losses, and the team that was behind me, the Weisport, what are they called? The Weisport Warriors. I was ahead by like 3 games-ish going into this last series in the end of September. And then they won 2 out of 3. And then I won and then lost 4 straight. And then I won 2. And all while the Weisport Warriors, how do I see their schedule right here? This is what they did. They beat me twice right here. And look at they had a really good September. The team in my division, they had a really good September, and they swept the team right before they beat me. And then they won 2 out of 3 against me, and then 3 straight there. And then they sort of one lost. And as you can see, we've had a 1-game playoff because we were tied at the end of 162 games. And they ended up winning. So, and the way my rotation was set up, I had Manaya as my 5th starter, and he had the last game and gave up 4 earned runs and took the loss. So I lost that game 8-1, which is what you see here. And so he won the division, and I didn't. Whitesport Warriors are division winners, and I have to face the wild card round. And so this is what it will look like. I'm playing against the, whatever this team is called, the Sunshine Numbers team. And they had 93 wins. And so they are the top wild card. I'm the away team. And so my work is cut out for me, I should say. But the one positive about the way I ended the season, even though I lost with my 5th starter, that means that I can start the wild card round with my top 3 starters. So they will be starting, and yeah, I'm gonna get my top 3 starters, and it'll be away games. All of the 3 games are away. It's 2 out of 3. So hopefully I pick up one of those. Hopefully I can, use my luck to win this last series and get to the division round. And then the division round is the Flagstaff Gumbies, and they won 95 games, and so they all had, and this is a pretty stacked team in itself. So yeah, this is going to be tough. The playoffs are going to be tough. And so how do you think I'm going to do? Why don't you think about that while we wait to see the results. And it's I'm kind of nervous about it. I'm not optimistic, but this game does some crazy things, and I kind of alluded to that. Even though we were doing pretty well going into September, I believe I had a 5-game lead going into September, and then I just had a really bad September. So let me go to team stats. My September record was 12-14. And October was 2-3, so the 5 games. So I ended the season with below 500, and if I had not finished below 500, I would have won the division. So that's kind of disappointing. But we move on, and we look forward to the playoffs, where I'll be the wild card away team. And so think about how well I'll do. And you'll get the update next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, after I'm done. Yeah, probably Monday or Tuesday is when you'll get it. And so, anyway, thanks for watching. If you'd like to support me, you can like and subscribe my YouTube channel and this video. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter over at substack.com. It's free. It's a digest format newsletter, and one is going to be sent out very, very soon. And so, yeah, it's, yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't want to hold you too long. The last update video was pretty long, so hopefully this one was, I think this one is a little bit shorter than the last one. So Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great night, great day, great morning, whatever time you're watching this. And I'll talk to you soon. Later.